After 1 year, I've managed to collect $2,000 worth of Pokemon cards. The real question is, how much did I have to spend to get there? More importantly, I've learned lessons that I feel like no one is talking about on YouTube and that you guys need to know, whether you're someone who's just starting off or have been collecting for decades. So let's go through a 1 year, $2,000 Pokemon card collection and learn a few things in the process. Alright, so it's time for the final reveal of my top loader binder, my rarest cards as part of the $2,000 collection. Whoa, let's take a step back here. Before we go on revealing my rarest cards deserving of a top loader, let's first see all the pulls throughout my journey and get started on some of those lessons. Right now we're looking at the pulls from the Sword and Shield era. Although we haven't had any major pulls from this era of cards, we have managed to find some beautiful illustrations. I think the Crown Zenith pulls of Eevee, Pikachu, and Swablu are up there for some of my favorite pulls. You'll also remember the Gigantamax Cinderace from our Fusion Strike we recently pulled in the Heavy Hitters Costco pack. Most of the cards I'm showing here range from about $1 to $5 USD, but don't you worry, the $10 and even $350 card will be revealed later. Expect good days and bad days. I've learned the hard way that opening packs isn't always sunshine and rainbows. This hobby is mostly about luck. Let's check out the latest Twilight Masquerade pull rates. A special illustration rare has a pull rate of 1 in 86. But if you're aiming for a specific card like Greninja, that's 1 in 941. If packs cost $4 each, you need to spend around $3,764 just for that Greninja card. The point is, enjoy the journey. Celebrate those rare victories when they come, but remember, missing out is all part of the game. Keep it fun. I'll share some tips in the upcoming lessons on how to do just that. But for now, let's dive back into my collection. This is my Scarlet and Violet collection, and where my journey mostly began. So I have everything from early Scarlet and Violet all the way to Twilight Masquerade. I'll be adding Stellar Crown and Searching Sparks here in the coming weeks and months. The hits here are once again in the $1 to $10 range. They have some really nice illustration rare cards with the Cinccino, Lickitung, Vignoor, Porygon Z, Palmy, and Armarouge. We also have some cards that make an appearance in top TCG decks like Pidgeot, Goldango, Squawkabilly, and of course the Iron Thorns EX, which won at the most recent Worlds. The shiny set Paldean Fates was released in the Scarlet and Violet era, giving us fun ones for my future shiny collection. Collecting isn't investing. Before we dive into this next part, I want to make it clear for the first time on my channel, this is not financial advice. Yes, cards do increase in value. Take my Greninja card for example. If you pulled it back in June, you'd be looking at over 100% gain right now. That's not why we collect though, is it? We do it to express ourselves, to find pieces of art that speak to us, to connect with Pokemon that we can relate to, and to build a community with others who share our passion. Investing is a different game altogether. Investors see cards as assets. They might kick themselves over missed opportunities or stress about fluctuations in the market. But as collectors, we have a different mindset. For us, the joy comes not from the monetary value, but from the emotional connection and the stories behind each card. Sure, it's exciting to know a card you have is valuable to others, but the real question is, would you sell it? Or are you content just knowing it's part of your collection, something you cherish? Going back to my example of the Greninja card, when I look at it, I'm instantly transported back to the incredible moment with my girlfriend. We were in the middle of the swamp and it felt like the craziest idea ever to open packs there. But then again, against all odds, we actually pulled the Greninja card. That memory is what makes this card so special to me, not its market value. That's the difference. Collecting is about passion and personal value, not just profit. So let's keep enjoying the journey, sharing stories, and celebrating the cards that mean the most to us. Let's take a moment to see the side of Pokemon collecting that isn't as pretty, the mess. With every pack comes the endless pile of broken down ETBs and booster boxes. In an upcoming video, I'll be going through all these and giving my top solutions to every collector's dirty little secret. Find ways to be excited about every card. There's a bad habit among collectors, especially here on YouTube, where common cards get completely ignored. I get it. Everyone's chasing that big hit, and it shows in my analytics. But let's stop focusing so much on the price per pack and start thinking about the enjoyment per pack. Here's some ways to find joy in every card you pull. First, try creating new collections that include common cards. One of my favorites right now is my Yuka Mori collection. She's been one of my favorite artists for as long as I can remember, and I get excited every time she releases a new card. Whether it's a common card or an illustration rare. I challenge you to find an artist you love and start a collection around their work. You could apply this idea to your favorite Pokemon too. If Skuntank is your favorite because, hey, maybe you stink, and that's okay, then start a Skuntank collection. Before we hand it off to Wags for the final lesson and reveal of the rarest cards in the collection, I want to give a shout out to my Halloween, McDonald's, and the ETB promo cards that made it in the collection this year. Make an event or game around opening cards. Picture this. You just dropped 50 bucks at your local Hobbiesville or card store. Come home and immediately tear through your 10 packs, skipping the commons of course, and heading straight to the big hits. 3 minutes later, you're done. Maybe you pulled something great, maybe you didn't. And now you're left with a mess and that sinking feeling of having spent too much for such a fleeting moment. Sound familiar? Think of it this way. Would you pay 50 bucks for an amusement park ticket, walk through the entrance, and then leave 3 minutes later? Absolutely not. So why do you do that with your favorite hobby? Let's build some anticipation and have a little bit more fun in the process. Here's what I do. Sometimes I buy cards and let them sit for a few days. Maybe I buy something on a Tuesday and tell myself, Saturday morning, I'm gonna wake up, make myself a coffee, and finally crack those packs. That whole week, I get that jittery, excited feeling, like when you buy a lottery ticket or plan a weekend getaway a few days in advance. It's about savoring the excitement. But that's not all. My longtime subscribers know I love creating little games and challenges. I made a game where I open packs and use the cards to beat Pokemon games. Honestly, 2 packs can provide hours of fun if you approach it with the right mindset. And guess what? I've got another fun challenge coming up and I want you all there for it. So remember to subscribe to my channel and I guarantee you that the price of admission to the WAGS Pokemon Amusement Park will be well worth its cost. Alright, so it's time for the final reveal of my top loader binder, my rarest cards as part of the $2,000 collection. When we open it up, the first thing you're going to see are the 151 special illustrations. I wanted that first page to really pop. So we have our Venusaur, our Blastoise, and our Charizard. The Blastoise, of course, is the one that I did buy on eBay. When we flip it over, I also want my special illustrations, but also some of my chase cards here. So you'll see my Groudon, not the rarest card, but it is one of my favorites. It was one of the ones I was chasing, I believe as part of a Paradox Rift. And it actually is one of the top cards right now, just behind the Roaring Moon special illustration. So, first thing you see, the Greninja, and then our Van Gogh Pikachu, and then the Groudon. We have our Gouging Fire, our Iron Leaves, and the Glaceon we pulled as part of Crown Zenith. I really want to pull some more Crown Zenith. You guys said you wanted it. I made a post, so we're going to do a little bit more Crown Zenith. And then, as part of my Yuka Mori collection, we have my Venusaur and Snivy. We have all of my rare trainer cards. So the Cassiopeia, Perrin, Cynthia's Ambition. We have the Penny, Erica's Invitation, and Bill's Transfer. We go to this side. I don't really have any method behind the next few pages. Kind of actually. So I just wanted some Charizards here. We got the Charizard Pikachu. We got the shiny Pikachus. So I'm going to put some Charizard Pikachus, fan favorites. We're going to put the full arts here. These are full arts that aren't 151. You'll see here in a second what I mean by that. We have the full arts that I've pulled, and then I got the rainbow page. The more cards we pull, if I got another rainbow, maybe I start a rainbow page. So this is not set in stone. To the next page, and we have our illustration rares, some of my favorites. Actually, Cloth probably shouldn't be there, but these ones kind of have a little bit of meaning to me. We have the Gloom, the first illustration I pulled after coming back, so that was very special to me. Then what I'm going to do is also a 151 just to track my illustration rares. I'm not putting them in the 151 binder, obviously, because I want to make sure that they're protected behind some top loaders. I got a Poliwhirl, Ivysaur. I actually don't have a lot. I need to do better on these illustration rares. You guys know I didn't do well on the illustrations when I was pulling 151, but the 1 year anniversary is coming up, guys. 1 year anniversary, which means I think I need to pull some more 151. And then we go to the next page. We have our 151 full arts, and then I have the switch card. Maybe I'll put the item cards, the trainer cards, in a page of its own. We pull one more to the left here, and we have our Japanese collection. So I wanted to put them in their own section because I think it's fun to go to Japan and, they don't fit as part of my English collection. Like, I'm not going to consider Wigglytuff as part of the 151 that I need to collect to get the master set. So I'm going to put it in a section of its own. And it's a great idea to fill the binder a little bit more and start a Japanese collection if you guys are into that. So this is what we have so far. These are the rarest cards of my collection. And the real question is, how much did I spend on this though? Did I make up the $2,000 worth? Let's find out. No more waiting. After 1 year, I've managed to build a $2,000 Pokemon card collection, and it costed me $2,750. That means I'm generally more unlucky. That being said, the loss of $750 is nothing compared to having hundreds of hours in my new hobby. This year has been unforgettable, and I thank you so much for being there at every single step of the way. Cheers to year 2, starting right now.